Well, alrighty. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairymuppet, and I have come back to YouTube after a long time of not doing YouTube, and I'm going to do some YouTube stuff now. And I only had 500 subscribers, so most of you watching this, maybe you started watching because you were subscribed to my channel, but I'm guessing you're watching this because you like Factorio. And yes, I am playing Factorio now. I've been playing it for the past couple of years quite obsessively. I'm sure you guys all understand, but yes. Oh god, I keep forgetting to turn off the bloody autosave. Where's the damn thing? This is not the way I wanted to start my videos, but let's put that up to. You know what? Let's put that up to never because. Yeah, I'm just going to be casting, so I don't think we really care too much about the autosave anymore, and it's annoying even when I'm not bloody casting. So there we go. So this is just kind of a startup video to kind of talk about what I'm doing, and I thought I'd show off this Megabase that I've been working on. Now, it's awesome, but it's not going to feature in any of my future videos, just a heads up, because as awesome as it looks, it is actually incredibly shit. And I don't know, this walking speed, I've screwed around with the walking speed a little bit. Let's turn that bit down, but anyway, I think it's fine. So anyway, just gonna run around and just show you the sort of things that are going on. We got the logistics train mod in here, which actually automatically schedules the trains to start running off and go places, which is fairly awesome. And yes, I was aiming to build like a 1,000 signs per minute, 2,000 signs per minute base. And so far, it's been going fairly well. I've got this massive amount of trains going around, going to all these different bases. But I've been running into a massive amount of deadlocks. Every time I go to work and I leave the trains running and I come home expecting to see this go up to like 20 or something, the robot speed 20, just millions of signs go nuts. It just doesn't work out. So yes, anyway, but let's go ahead and have a look. Let's go ahead and jump in this train actually. So this train is going to be going to my low density structures and pick up some of those and then go off to rocket science. And it actually sounds really weird because it's a nuclear locomotive. Ever since 0.15 hit, I decided to use these because I love nuclear things, and yeah, absolutely love them. I don't know, it's just easier to get the nuclear fuel around than it is to get rocket fuel around. I didn't want to have a fuel distribution service, so I figured I would just throw these nuclear locomotives in. They're a little bit faster as well, which is quite awesome. So just dropping off or picking up some low density steel actually sends over in the rocket bases. This guy's running pretty well. All of my bases are running pretty well at the moment. I've reached about 1.5, 1,500 science per minute on this current base, and it's pretty awesome. And I think the rocket base is actually just a little bit further over. So we can go there, see the low density science getting sucked out. And we can see I've got these neat little counters there. So that's just racked up a little bit. I've actually had all three of these be the throughput problem for my factory so far. Started with low density science. Then I just got a crap load of steel. And that sort of knocked it up a bit. Rocket fuel started to go down. And I doubled my rocket fuel base, and now it's a low density, no, not low density, it's RCUs, whatever these little bastards are, and they have been a little bit painful. I think red circuits are having a problem, to be honest, but I'm probably not going to fix it. I'm probably just going to let this base go as it is. Look at this neat little thing, the rocket's behind it, and then it's in front of it. There's some little bug I've just sort of seen, but when this base is going full bore, it does launch a bunch of rockets all at the same time, which is awesome. So you can see all of this beautiful, beautiful little science coming out here. Once it reaches 20,000, there'll be a train that'll come along, pick it up, and take it to the science area. So, god damn it, get through there. All right, so we're going to move over to the science area now. And as you can see, we've got over 100,000 of every single science except for the white science. which is awesome. And there's thunder in the background because it's raining like cats and dogs out there, but it's all good. So we'll just wait for that to go across, and this will crawl along a little bit further. It's currently going up to 512,000. I really, really like pushing the research for these guys. Here we go. Some RCUs are actually coming in. I got some 310-3 train setups in this base, and they're beautiful. This takes about 4,000 RCUs at a time, which really does help, but it is also my undoing because, yeah, I'll get onto it. Yeah, I'll explain it. I'll explain why this base is just bad, and it's all completely my fault. Absolutely 100% my fault. It's just the gaps aren't big enough. Like, these gaps are just not big enough. And I look at them and I think, oh, there's never going to be a deadlock between these because this has nothing to do with this and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just fooling myself because everything gets stuck in everything and they just deadlock all over the place. You leave a game running for like 10 hours. If it's possible for something to deadlock, then something will deadlock. It'll happen. I've had 4 days in a row, like 5 or 6 times in a row, I fix a deadlock and then I wake up and there's a deadlock happening in a new place. And I've gone to stupid links, like we've got chain signals here and then chain signals here. There's no normal signal in between. This whole thing from there all the way down to there is treated as one intersection for the sole purposes of stopping the frickin' deadlocks. And it's working okay, but yeah, I've just gotten to the point where I'm like, I need to rip this entire base apart and redo it. And I don't want to trade down the trains. I don't want to go for like 242 trains or anything like that. 2 engines at each side and 4 carriages in the middle, because I could. And when I do another Megabase in the future, and I am planning on doing that, hopefully YouTubing it, I'm definitely planning on going for 242 trains, because 310-3s, they're a little bit slower. They're all right. They're a little bit slower. Although it's hard to tell because nuclear engines, these guys go up to like 320 kilometers an hour. So I don't know, maybe 242s, they'd go up to like 400. It's a bit hard to judge. I only know the train speeds for the normal locomotives on rocket fuel. But anyway, these guys, yeah, they're just too big. They're too big, and it's nice to have big trains everywhere, but I think I could get away with a 4-lane system with 242 trains, and I don't think it would be a big problem. So yes, that is what I would like to do in the future. For now, it seems to be running okay. I think about an hour before I started recording, I had to fix a deadlock, but it's running okay now, and it is beautiful. So let's go ahead and let's zoom out in the map a bit, and I will show you this base. And this is basically it, what I'm showing you right now. So these are all the stations, and before you ask, this is the starting area right over here. So yes, I built it right next to my starting area, and the reason it is still running, and it has been running for days, is because I've got infinite resources turned on from all my ore patches. I got infinite resources turned on for crude oil as well, but I don't like crude oil just because it doesn't seem to be as good as ore. I don't think there's any actual factual evidence behind it. It's just like a gut feeling. I've been playing the game for a long time, and I've always had a mod that makes the ore infinite because I don't like moving crap. It feels like going backwards. But I've never had a mod until I started this game that actually made oil infinite. So I've really got this sort of prejudiced against oil. And when they started bringing out coal liquefaction to generate all of the different fluids you needed, I just jumped straight onto that. We can see over here in red circuits, we've got a local coal mine here, jumping straight into coal liquefaction, using the coal for these little boilers as well to generate the steam. And it's just beautiful. You set up a whole crap load of these machines and you pipe in some water, or in this case, train in some water. Whoops, I zoomed out a little bit too far. So we got this water guy coming in, constantly filling up the water here. And then all you need to do is inject 1,000 barrels of heavy oil to kickstart the system. and then you just leave it and you walk away and it produces forever as long as you keep providing it with water. And water is functionally infinite, so you don't have to worry about that. You just have to make sure the train's constantly cycling through, that sort of stuff. So yes, it is pretty good. It got some small problems here. Basically, these chests don't always load up as equally as I'd like them to. I really don't know how it happens because they've all got the same amount. They're all requesting 2,000 red circuits. Sometimes, and I don't know how this inequality actually came up because functionally it should be all the same. I think maybe a train got stuck at some point or got deadlocked at some point and maybe unloaded half the carriages or something retarded like that. It doesn't make any sense to me, but there it is. That's how it's looking. You know what? I actually had a deadlock, so all of these chests should have been completely full. No, they weren't, because the deadlock caused the green circuits to go down to 0, so they wouldn't have filled up and evened that out, which is unfortunate, but dealing with a base like this is just absolutely off your rocker. But yeah. Anyway, so I suppose I can go around and show a bit more stuff. We'll go and have a look. Actually, we'll get out of the map view and actually stretch our legs a little bit. Got a nice little uranium set up here. Kovarex or whatever the hell it's called over here. Kovarex. Too many different vowels in that word, but there we go. Nice little Kovarex set up here to generate some fuel. Little iron on a belt. This is like the last belt. Well, not the last belt in the entire factory, but it's the last belt in the main thing, because I've learned my lesson about belts. I tried to make a Megabase before this one. I believe I had 64 blue belts full of ore going in for iron and another 64 for copper. 128 blue belts total. And I did the maths and I was like, that'll be enough for 1,000 signs per minute. And it was enough, but my God, the UPS hit. I really should have expected that. I didn't, and it just completely screwed me over. So now it's all bots and all trains. I got these beautiful little nuclear bots. This is a mod, obviously not part of the vanilla game. And I love them because they don't need to recharge. And having a billion robo ports all over the place is doable, but it just looks ugly and I really just hate it. I mean, I could deal with the energy, deal with the electricity, I could. I'm using up 23 gigawatts at the moment, and I've got these modded solar panels, so they produce 1.5 megawatts each. They still cost the same amount per energy they actually produce, but these could go up to like 42 total. So yeah, actually, it's only using 33 because I'm recharging the, the accumulators. So in actual fact, once these guys finish, boom, I don't know why it's flickering so much, but there we go. The actual base itself is using 10 gigawatts, and over half of that is beacons. I love beacons. I've got the damn things everywhere. This really is like a 1,000 signs per minute and beyond base, but the rail network, the deadlocks, I was putting the damn things down and I was just like, oh God. Because this weekend, I had 3 days off and I was like, I really want to start streaming. I really want to look at this base. I was planning on starting with this base and sort of pushing it forward and making a series of it. And so I sort of rushed this base a little bit to get to this weekend, and I ended up doing myself in because it started to become very apparent that the entire base would have to be redone almost from scratch. I could probably move a couple of things around and spread some stations out and that sort of thing, but I don't know. I'm kind of like, look at this red circuit thing here. Like, I'd have to have a station this big, basically, and I'd have to move all this stuff around and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I don't know. If I'm going to do all that and put it on YouTube, I might as well just start a new base from scratch, because I love playing Factorio, and starting a new base this big from scratch, it's absolutely fun because it's all part of the fun. Anyway, we were going to go over and we were going to look at some of the other bits, actually. So don't even worry about this. This is just a tiny little steel outpost for my stage 2. So that thing over there, on the left-hand side, that's like stage 3. That's like the main base. And I had 2 stages before that. This little guy over here, which is still pretty decently huge, this area, this is stage 2. And this is kind of the base to build the base thing over here. So I've got this beautiful little area here, which is all of my base building components, speed modules, beacons, mines, smelters, everything I need. And I've got a combination of a long reach mod and obviously radars. So I could be over the other side of the map. I could shift over, jump over to here, and just boom, grab 400 beacons from all the way over the other side of the map. So this is kind of my Dropbox area, and my stage 2 base, its main job is just to keep these chests full all of the time. And it does a pretty good job. So I can go over there, I can build like 5 stations in about an hour or so if I know what I'm doing, and I got the resources, got these cool little speed module and productivity module setups here. Productivity modules are still going. I left this game running for like 8 hours while I was at work, and these guys are still going, man. What are they running low on? What are you running low on? Blue circuits. I thought you had blue circuits. Well, we're playing Factorio, so we might as well go and diagnose some problems while we're here. These guys is running okay. I think they're mostly running okay. Looks like green is getting a little bit soft. What's wrong with green? Green is running for the most part. Copper seems to be fine. Iron is a little bit fruity. Iron is a little bit off. So, yes, we do have all of these iron smelters. It's just this little bit of iron here. I did used to have the iron pulled in from over here in this green circuits base. This is part of the main base. So I used to pull iron here and copper here. And then I started building rockets at 1.5 per minute. And suddenly this base was just screaming, no more, no more. I can't supply you anymore. So I cut that off and I just let the second base go on its own. It's got this little 1-2-1 system where it just throws iron in there. And it gets it down from this little base, which I've had forever. And you know what? I sort of didn't give a crap because I was like, I'm building rockets, productivity, mining productivity is going to go through the roof. These stations should have no problems filling up these trains every time. It's sort of been the case, but honestly, if I was going to keep playing with this game, I probably would chuck some beacons in here and some speed 3 modules to keep this going because, I mean, it's okay. There's still, look, these ones are full, so it's still okay. It's just trains. Look, there's another iron train. Where we got 2 here. It's a problem with unloading the bloody passive providers in here. I really should switch these over to actives, put a storage chest right next to it. That would be good. Actually, let's do that now, just for the sake of it. So this is the setup that I have actually used in all of my main bases, simply because of this sort of problem where you get all of these chests filling up and then the bots only take from the front ones, and this guy takes a million years to unload, which is just crap. Now, the key thing here is this logistics train network mod uses this station and the contents of all these boxes to figure out how much ore it needs. And it just occurred to me that I switched off the logistics train network mod for this particular station because I was sick of seeing the messages constantly pop up in the bottom left for this dodgy little second base that I didn't give a crap about anymore. And now, of course, I switched the messages all off completely because they were annoying me and I didn't want them in my YouTube cast. I was about to say stream, but it's not really a stream. So we don't really need to count these crates anymore. So I'm not going to worry about it. So what we're going to do is we're going to change these all to active providers. Hopefully they'll pull them all in this one, but it looks like they're putting them all over the other side of the map. Doesn't matter. We got 10,000 bots in this base and we're only using about 800 of them. Nuclear bots, best mod ever. I absolutely love it. And I am absolutely going to ignore anybody who says it's cheating because whatever. So there we go. And the fact that we got so many, free bots means that they can store it over on the other side of the world and then bring it back over here. It really doesn't matter. But that means the train is going to completely unload, should get a lot more throughput. Although these guys were running full speed anyway, so maybe more train throughput isn't going to help. Maybe I just need to build more. But as I said, not playing this game much more, so just, I don't know. I can make small changes. I'm happy to make small changes, but big changes, it's kind of like, what's the point? So anyway, moving on. I forgot what we were moving on to, but let's move down to, I've already talked about the main base and the stage 2 base. This was the stage 1 base. This was pure spaghetti all the way up the wazoo. These are the original green circuits. And I don't know if you've used nuclear robots before, but this base was entirely for the purpose of researching them. So I could build base number 2. And if we go into the research menu and we look at nuclear robots, wherever the bloody little things are, here they are. They cost 4,500 of each of these science. And I was powering the entire thing on just these 7 green circuit makers. So as you can see, leaving the game running while I go to work is something that I do quite a bit. I think it took like 2 days to research that damn stuff. And yeah, after that was gone, I moved on to base number 2. I destroyed most of this base except for the bits that were producing the robots. I left them alone and just let them go. What the hell is going on here? Why am I out of nuclear fuel? There should be nuclear fuel coming in here. What do you want? You want some more 238. Why is there no 238? Did I cut off the acid? I think I cut the acid off. No? The acid's still there. I think I cut something off. I probably destroyed this pipe because I had logistic bots and then I set up a thing for construction bots and I must have knocked the pipe off for the sulfuric acid. So there we go. Sulfuric acid back on there, getting some uranium. This guy's basically just doing 238 to make the fuel. I got the 235 from over here where there is a much nicer base which does Covarex, whatever. Stop yelling at me. So that's pretty good. I actually had some nuclear reactors over here. You can, no, well, there were some pipes going over here, nuclear reactors, powering my base when the steam boilers just weren't doing enough anymore off the coal, which was over here. So knocked them down, got nuclear. And eventually I started thinking, you know what? You know, with 1,000 signs per minute, read the forums, everybody says go solar. I didn't want to cover like 10 times my base's size of the map with solar panels. So I went and I got the mods. I'll actually show you right now. So it's basically an advanced solar mod. So you got these ones, they're basic, give you 60 kilowatts. You got the advanced ones, they give you 300 kilowatts, but they take 5 solar panels. So 5 times the resources for 5 times the power and some extra resources as well. And then you do it again from 300 to 1500 and it takes 5 of the advanced solar panels plus extra. So you're not saving resources, you're basically just saving, oh my god, that train nearly hit me. You're basically just saving space. And even with those advanced guys, I still ended up building a massive amount of solar. So if you think about, let's have a look. If you think about this, how many solar panels this are and accumulators and all that sort of stuff, you multiply that grid by 25. That's how many solar panels I would have needed with base vanilla solar panels to power this entire base. And I'm just like, you know what? It probably would have been just as easy because I had a bloody train going in here and I had robots setting them up and it was completely tileable. So the only pain would have been creating the blueprints and yeah, but putting those blueprints down is just a pain in the ass. So I'm happy with the modded ones. They're a bit nicer and I'll be happy to use them for future games because I might get into the case where you actually care about covering over a coal patch or some crude oil. In this case, I was just like left-hand side, my main base, spread out from there, right-hand side, solar. I can cover up from here to freaking wherever with solar panels. I really didn't give a shit. But that's the benefit of using infinite ore. You can't see it right now, but I got my thumbs up. It is beautiful. And anyway, I think I've covered the entire base right now. It is good, but ultimately I was too lazy and I didn't plan. I didn't plan these stations. I just plonked it and then plonked it and then plonked another one. I had green and blue signs and I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Speed modules, I can squeeze one in there. And only half of the stations, the ones I decided were big, actually had a little queue here, had a little waiting area. The ones like blue signs, I was just like, screw it. They won't be needed too often. The queue can just stretch back onto the main line, which was, oh, so much stupidity. But anyway, I think I'm done, and I think I'm done with this video as well because it's been going for quite a while, but I enjoyed it and this base was awesome. And just to show you guys that I'm not a complete noob, so when you go into the next video, which is going to be me starting a Bob's Mod video, I want to start from scratch and I want to go through a series and I want to make it nice and simple, but I'm not going to do a straight up vanilla series where I go through and I launch a rocket, because that's just too simple. It's too boring. And I don't want to go and restart my Megabase yet because I'm still kind of depressed after building this base, and I don't think I can just jump straight back into it. I want it to be epic. I wanted this base to be epic as well, and it was epic, but it fell over because I didn't plan the rails. I planned everything else, got the spreadsheet, got all the numbers, planned everything. This base will absolutely do 1.5, 1.6 thousand science per minute. Damn it, I always get that wrong. It'll absolutely do it, and I can stretch it a bit, maybe up to 2. I think I could probably get it up to 2 just with stretching it a little bit, but the rails, man, the rails network did me in. And yeah, so in the future, it's going to be 141 trains if it's a normal base, 242 if it's a mega base, and I need the speed to clear the lines because I got dozens of trains flying around. But when I do Bob's Mods, it'll probably be 141 because I'm not really going for a mega base. I'm just going for like a rocket. And with Bob's, that's still decently hard to do. But anyway, that's been me with this video. I hope you enjoy it, and look forward to seeing you guys in the future on my next run through. If you like anything that you've seen here, feel free to let me know. I'm happy to do tutorial videos and that sort of stuff. I've got a lot of cool systems. I've got a lot of built up knowledge about the logistics train network mod, how to set that up, how to do that properly. Very, very awesome stuff. I'll probably intrinsically, implicitly go through some tutorials as part of future playthroughs because I'm going to keep using the logistics train mod network mod. It's not very good to be dyslexic when you're a YouTuber, but you just have to put up with me because I don't know. So there we go. Anyway, that's that video done, or this video done. I'm going to leave you guys there, and I'm going to go off and I'm going to start playing around with Bob's mods and start messing around with those and see if I can put those together. So have a good one, guys. I will see you guys later.